There is breaking news happening from Nintendo, and that the next generation console, the aka Switch 2, will be backwards compatible. Yes, you heard that right. It is not a rumor, it's a fact. Let's talk about it. Welcome back to YinYangTK, everyone, and today we're going to be talking about that the Switch 2, the next Nintendo generation console, will be backwards compatible, and here's why. So earlier today, on the time of this recording, November 5th, 2024, the Nintendo Twitter account from Japan came out with this statement. So if we go here, and I'm going to click it right here, I'm going to read it to you. It says, "This is Furukawa. At today's corporate management policy briefing, we announced that Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to the Nintendo Switch. Nintendo Switch Online will be available on the successor to Nintendo Switch as well. Further information about the successor to Nintendo Switch, including the capability with Nintendo Switch, will be announced on a later date." So to kind of go down into the business of things, it basically says that it's the rumor that a lot of the gamers that we were talking about, that the Switch 2 or whatever the successor's name is going to be will be backwards compatible. So that means the library that you already have for your Nintendo Switch console is going to work just fine. You do not have to buy new games. So it kind of reminds me that it's going to be kind of like, if you remember like the 3DS era, where we had the DS games, they were kind of the black cartridges, and then when the 3DS came, it had the white cartridges with that little dent on the corner. I think we're gonna see something similar to the Switch successor, the Switch 2. And just to go over a little bit more, there was this really cool blueprint, and when we saw the future outlook. So this is, from the word of mouth. It says expanding Nintendo's IP, and it kind of gives you integrated hardware, software, Nintendo DS to the Wii. So we're talking about 2004 to 2006, and then we look at the Nintendo Switch integrated hardware, software came out in 2017, and then the successor that is going to be announced in a later date, the integrated hardware successor, the successor to Nintendo Switch 2. And just going down the bullet points, it says, until Nintendo Switch, there was no easy way to have consumers purchase and gameplay histories carry over across platforms generations. As a result, our relationship with the consumers was interrupted when a new system was purchased. The introduction of the Nintendo account made it possible to tie consumers' history to their personal account, enabling Nintendo to maintain continuous relationship with the consumers across platform generations. We have communicated that we plan on making an announcement regarding the successor to the Nintendo Switch during this fiscal year. We believe that it is important for Nintendo's future to make use of Nintendo account and carry over the good relationship that we have built with over 100 million annual playing users of the Nintendo Switch to a successor. Thus, we'll make Nintendo Switch Online and the service based on Nintendo account available on the successor of the Nintendo Switch. So that's already really good news that we're already getting that. During that meeting, it just made sense. Like, if you want Nintendo to continue this trajectory of becoming probably like the #1 video game console, you are to hear what the gamers want, and we want backwards capability. And sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard. I think, in my personal opinion, I think it's an easy thing to do, and I think that's what we're lacking, especially with PlayStation and Xbox. Yes, it's fancy, cool new toys. I do like playing them, but what happens when, for example, you want to play a game but they don't have it, in their Nintendo Network or Xbox Live, and you kind of have to go through all of these, weird, internet gaming things, and you can't play your, past games. So Nintendo thought, you know what? We're going to do what they couldn't do. We're going to make sure that the next generation Nintendo console is backwards compatible. And it also continues right here. Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor for the Nintendo Switch. So it says, furthermore, Nintendo Switch software will also be playable on the successor to Nintendo Switch. In addition to being able to play Nintendo Switch software they currently own, consumers will be able to choose their next purchase from a broad selection of titles released for the Nintendo Switch. Further information of the successor of the Nintendo Switch, including its capability with Nintendo Switch, I explained today, will be announced at a later date. Right, so we already know that. It is strengthening development resources. So you kind of see a list of things: Nintendo Q, 1UP Studio, Mario Club, Nintendo Technology Development, Nintendo European Research Development, Nintendo Software Technology IQ, I guess. And then we see some other ones: Nintendo Pictures, Nintendo Systems, Shiver, Next Level Games. In addition to the Nintendo Group from 2021 onward, it says, here's a list of research and development subsidiaries. Since 2021, we have added Next Level Games, SRD, and Shiver to in-game development, Nintendo Pictures in visual content for non-game entertainment, and Nintendo Systems as part of an effort to maintain and expand relationships with consumers. While we do not rule out the possibility of further mergers and acquisitions, our priority is to organically expand the organization so new staff members are able to fully learn and understand our creative culture. So far it's looking really good. Like, they're really putting a lot of thought and process, and they're asking the consumers, they're asking the Nintendo gamers, what is some of the things that you want for the successor? And the data shows that we love to play really classic retro games on our systems, and if possible, if we could have it a physical edition. And if it's not a physical edition, a digital edition will be the next best thing. But that the main point is that we own the game, right? But even if we don't own the game, I guess the other way is the Nintendo Switch Online, expansion course, or just having a way to stream the game. But I will add, as a gamer, for me, I like to actually own the game, either via downloadable or physical, but I would go physical 100% of the way. And then the next thing is, it kind of gives you the data. Many series titles are showing growth on the Nintendo Switch. So you see examples like Pikmin, Kirby, Metroid, Xenoblade Chronicles. So on the blue graph, you see that the Nintendo Wii U or 3DS titles, they sold, like for Pikmin, for example, 1.78 million units. And then for the Switch, 7.86 million units. Kirby, 5.62 million units for the 3DS Wii U, and then 15.08 million units. It is more than triple of that. And you see Metroid, for example, it barely made even millions, but then look at, for Nintendo Switch, almost 5 million units. And then you see Xenoblade Chronicles, one of probably the biggest jumps, besides Pikmin. They only sold 1.41 million units, and now look at that, 7.717 units. That is 7 times more of the sales. And since they actually announced that they were going to release Xenoblade Chronicles X, that number is probably going to skyrocket even more. So this chart compares the total sales volumes of series titles on the Wii U, Nintendo 3DS versus the sales titles on the Nintendo Switch for each IP. Many series titles such as Pikmin, Kirby, Metroid, and Xenoblade Chronicles have seen dramatic sales growth on the Nintendo Switch. So those are just some examples of what we're talking about right here. And it just goes furthermore that it just makes more sense that Nintendo made a very good job, a good business decision, and a good gaming decision, that the successor will be backwards compatible. And the more games that are being released physically or a remastered version, we are seeing a spike to it. There's even a comparison where that Paper Mario, for example, the Switch version actually outsold more than the GameCube version. And then even the Super Smash Bros. Ultimate outsold the original Smash Brothers. So that just gives you an idea that we love retro gaming, but we also like, to have it. as a physical edition, and that if you prioritize backwards capability, that the gamers will come back for your product. So what about you guys? What do you guys think about this announcement that Nintendo made? Are you excited that it's going to be backwards compatible? Do you have an idea or maybe of what the cartridge of the Nintendo Switch 2 or the successor is going to look like? Write your comments below, and if you like the content of this video, please hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification so you know when future videos are available. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed today, and again, stay awesome.